Welcome to Fit Club Vegas, the ultimate fitness destination for visitors. Drop in for a day pass and experience our 10,000 square foot fitness playground. At Fit Club, you'll find state-of-the-art equipment and a sound system so good you'll pitch your headphones. Conveniently located 7 to 12 minutes from the Las Vegas Strip, Fit Club is a perfect spot for you to come get your pump while visiting Sin City. So come check us out at 4525 West Hacienda, Las Vegas, Nevada. Fit Club Vegas, more than a gym, it's a vibe.
Wing it. The man of the hour has just walked through the building. Matt's dark horse for the Olympia.
I don't know about that.
Welcome to Vegas, man.
Thank you.
I know he was another one that we've wanted to get on, but you haven't been out here in a minute.
Yeah.
So, but once we came, I was like, John's here. We got him.
Well, thank you guys. It's an honor to be here. Obviously, Jay, you're a huge fan. Always been a fan of you, and Matt and I have been
You were training partners, kind of, weren't you? Or
a couple times.
Yeah.
He doesn't train.
That's a whole other story.
That's a story we don't need to have on this podcast.
Yeah.
I was in dire straits for a period.
John, Florida.
Yeah.
In Florida.
Yeah, that dump.
So, New York native, now living in Florida, running the gym.
Yes.
It's almost like the second coming now of your career.
Yeah.
And we want to talk a little bit about that because it's actually pretty cool. You're how many qualifications is this now for Olympia?
This is 5 or 6 now. Yeah. So I was telling Taylor, it's actually a very tough lineup. It always is. It's the Olympia, right? It's the best of guys in the world. But I actually feel like I have a shot at making the top 10 this time. And to be able to say that with this lineup is I think it's impressive. You know, it would definitely be a huge accomplishment.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of guys you can stand with in this. We talk about that.
Yeah.
I mean, the field is kind of switching up a little bit right now. There's a lot of chaos going on. We'll see how it ends.
You beat some guys this year that are going to be in the mix.
Yeah.
And then there's guys that are predicted to be towards the front of that pack that you were very well comparable with that in a lot of the shots you beat them.
I think it's going to be. Listen, I'm here to have fun, right? This is, as I was saying earlier, it's a huge, huge blessing for me to be here with all the crap, and we can get into that I've had to go through to get here. So I'm having fun. I'm living my dream. And at the end of the day, I think if under these circumstances, if I continue to have this kind of feeling going into it, it's just going to set me up for a really great showing. And I think that with all that considered, if I'm calm and having fun, the physique that we're hoping to bring will lead to a really good showing, and we'll see where that lands. But I think I have a good shot at placing in the top 10. Yeah,
that's
I want higher.
Top 10. Yeah, that was. I want higher. Man.
Well,
Listen, coming to win.
Listen, well,
you want to be top 6. That would be great. I mean, dream call-outs. Dream call out. I asked Martin this the other day.
Yeah.
I said, what's your dream call out? I think he wants to be compared with the Hotties and the Derricks. And,
yeah, of course.
I mean, structure-wise, height-wise, I mean, you compare with these guys. I mean, it's kind of a good call. You had huge success early in the year.
Yeah.
Right? Arnold Classics.
Mm-hmm.
Was that your best?
I think that was my best showing, yeah.
Crazy this far in your career.
Yeah.
40 now?
I just turned 40, yeah.
Okay.
Right at the Arnold, I just turned 40. But I think a lot of that has to do with mindset, where I'm at in life, just really enjoying the process. When I was younger, 24, 25, I think the first year I made it, I was 25 years old to the Olympia. I mean, I was stressed and, not really enjoying it, thinking about trying to be my best and doing all types of stuff to try to, bring out the best in me. And, but, I think right now I just feel really confident in the package that I'm bringing and that I've put together, and all the years of hard work and sacrifice that it's taken me to get here. So,
do you feel less pressure because the sponsorship is different now? I mean, I know you have sponsors, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
but are you under the gun on like I need to place a certain way? Or are you settled in life to the point where you're kind of just taking it as it comes?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, the sponsorships are.
I think at 25, your sponsorship ideas are a lot different than are your age now.
Yeah, and you know, that landscape has changed a lot, right? Like bodybuilders not making money the way they used to, and so I think the gym, you know. Shout out to Fitness System Sawgrass and my partner Sean, and you know, that whole culture that we've created has really set me up where things are settled, like you said, and I don't have to stress about placing or, you know, doing well or looking my best. I'm doing this for me at this point, and being able to do that with that mindset, like I said, is just totally different ballgame.
You gotta have confidence in what the coaching process now, though. I mean, that seems to be a big relief for you.
Yeah. Shout out to Patrick Tour. He's awesome. And I'm not talking about the coaching, but Patrick's my friend. You know, like we call each other every morning, 6:30 in the morning, and we just bullshit. You know, we go through the check-in and whatever, and we talk about life. We talk about business. We talk about our wives. We talk about the crazy stuff that they want to buy. You know, but you know, Patrick reached out to me when I tore my bicep, and the dude just wanted to know how I was doing. You know, just as a friend, he was like, "Dude, I know you must be going through it. You know, you can't train. How are you feeling?" And so that really changed the dynamic of our coach-client relationship, I guess. And I kind of felt like somebody really had my back for my best interest, because at the time I wasn't paying him. You know, I was just trying to get back into bodybuilding, and he was like, "Look, man, I just want to help." Like, it wasn't even about bodybuilding.
Kind of like the Hani situation with me, you know. That's how we ended up working together. He just called and checked on me after I lost to Dexter in 2008. And I had this like mindset where I was like uncertain for the first time where my career was going to go. I mean, I was defeated, and I'm sure you went through that.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of people don't understand, like when you're at the top of your game for quite some time, and then all of a sudden it's, you know, you have these obstacles, you know, whether it's an injury or, you know, financial. Or, there's a lot of things that probably compiled together.
Oh, yeah.
And it just seemed like probably hitting you all at once. Yeah. But, you know, sometimes you need that.
Yeah.
Person.
Well, you know, I mean, Matt knows a lot of people know a lot of the personal details that I went through, but I kind of felt like life was just beating me down at this point. You know, I went through a rough divorce. I ended up, you know, having to sell my business in the home in New York, and then relocating to Florida, and then starting a gym. The gym wasn't making money, and then I was trying to get back onto the bodybuilding stage, and then I tore my bicep, and I couldn't. The one consistent thing that I've had in my life, most people know with my father starting me out in training at such a young age, was training. It was the thing that I started training. I mean, my dad got me my first set of dumbbells. I was like 7, 8 years old. I would just fuck around with him in the living room. You know, we had a 1-bedroom apartment, and we just kind of would mess around in the living room together. And then that led into my first gym membership at 13 years old with him, and so on and so forth. So just training was something that was the consistent thing in my life. Every time something went bad, the gym was there. And so now I tear my bicep, and the doctor didn't even want me to train. He was like, you can't go into the gym. You can't do anything. And I'm like, I got to do something. So, you know, he's telling my wife, he was like, I don't even want him opening doors. Like, I couldn't use my arm for anything. So I just felt like life just stripped me of everything. And I was just there like, well, where do I go? What do I do? You know, the gym's not making money. Had no sponsorships. Living in Florida. I'm a huge family guy. I was by myself. And, you know, when Patrick reached out to me, it was something that I took really to heart. And, you know, since then, it's just we've been bang on, you know. And I think, like I said, it's just being a part in life where, like, the gym's now making money and the sponsorships are going well. And I have a wonderful wife in Taylor who's very supportive and, you know, wants to see the best in me. And I have great friends. Matt has always reached out to me and wanted to make sure that I was okay, and other friends in the industry that I've made, you know. So, you know, it's just it just feels like everything's falling into place. And I think this Olympia is going to be, you know, my
I want to ask you, how many weeks total in 2024 have you been on a diet? I know you're keeping track. I know you're keeping track. That's a long year for you, bro.
It's been a long year.
It started last year.
Yeah, it started in 2023, right?
My diet, yeah, my wife's over there coughing. Shout out to Taylor De LaRosa. She's been amazing. I started dieting. So we got invited to the Arnold. I just kind of put in the application, and I was like, let's just take a shot.
Before you.
Did you?
Tell you that.
So I said, I don't think I'm going to get it in because, I haven't competed in a while. Anyways, so we were supposed to get married in 24. And she said, just put it in, and if it happens, we'll figure it out. I get the invite. And I'm like, babe, what are we going to do? She's like, well, let's move the wedding up. So I started dieting actually in November of last year. Till now. I've had 2 cheat meals. Yeah, so it's been a long...
No, I remember being on the phone with him, and he's like, man, I put in my application. I don't know. I already knew he was getting in. I didn't want to say, because we saw like 3 or 4 days out, or maybe a week out, we saw the invite list, and I was like...
You kind of turn... And the industry is a little confused this year, though, because like you're hunting that qualification. You're in the mix now, right? You picked the hardest show to enter.
Yeah.
Arnold Classic was super competitive. Go overseas to compete in the one in the UK. And everyone was kind of baffled because you didn't go compete in Detroit. And they were shocked, and they were like, man, that's a big mistake. And you're like, well, I want to add more upper chest, and right, you wanted to get a little fullness. And everyone's kind of questioning, what's your ability to put on? Are you really going to be able to improve
in a short time?
Yeah.
And you put all your eggs in one basket, and you ended up qualifying.
Yeah.
Like as we got closer to the end of the season. Yeah. So, I mean,
well, it was
game plan.
It was definitely a tough decision. I wanted to. So Fuad and I had spoke, and he really wanted me to do it, and I committed to doing it. And I still do feel bad that I didn't do it. But after the Arnold, Patrick and I and my wife sat down and we're like, okay, well, what's the smartest decision here? I can go do Detroit, and it'll be a toss-up because I knew that there were going to be some tough competition.
Who won that? Fitzwater.
Martin, which he's that
was his kind of
his coming out party. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like I knew there was going to be some tough competition, and so I was like, well, what are the chances of me doing well there? They're probably pretty good, but to nail a qualification, I'm not sure. Then that would prolong my season and trying to get the qualification, lessening my chances of making the improvements going into the Olympia, which ultimately for all of us is where you want to do your best. So Patrick was like, listen, I think you shut it down. We increase food a little bit. You increase training frequency and try and put some tissue on where you need it. Because again, I was coming back from the torn biceps, so the muscle still wasn't quite where we wanted it to be. And we took a gamble, and thank God it worked out, and I won my qualification in Tampa, as you guys know, and I made some improvements. And
we talked about there wasn't. I thought there was what thought maybe you were just going to not even try to qualify.
Yeah,
like you were like, hey, I'm not winning against these guys, and I think your mindset was like you realize you improved a lot, but it's disappointing for me, like for anyone to go to the Olympia without the mindset of like, I want to stand next to the best.
Of course. Yeah.
And it sucked for me. Like my first time I went and I didn't get I was the last call out, right? That's the worst.
Yeah. It's happened to
when you think you look, when you think you look so good, and then like it can be a little
it's
heartbreaking, right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you travel here. I mean, you've been here now, you'll be here well over a week before the show.
Yeah.
Any particular reason why you came so early, or?
Again, I don't make any decisions on my own. I was actually planning on flying out like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Patrick was like, absolutely not. I need you there, at least. Yeah.
I was telling Jay, I'm looking at this. I remember in 18, I think it was, when the hurricane came to Florida, but it's looking like it's going to hit Florida Wednesday.
Yeah.
How many people are flying here Wednesday and Thursday to come?
Yeah, it's going to be a mess.
When the airports get shut down.
Yeah, it's going to be a mess. So he he had me fly out. Yeah, he wanted me to get out early and make sure that we were settled, and he got a chance to look at me as often as possible. He's staying with me at the Airbnb, so we're really putting everything into this. It's exciting, man.
All right, we'll talk a little bit about your most memorable moments in bodybuilding. Like, if you could say, like, this could be from your amateur, like the first major amateur show you won, to your pro card, to maybe it was the first time at the Olympia, maybe it was this Arnold Classic. Like, what's been some of the memorable moments?
Certainly the most memorable would be winning the Tampa Pro at this point in my career, only because it maybe get a little personal, I don't care, whatever, but there were a lot of demons that I fought personally on my own mind, questioning whether I'd ever be able to do those kinds of things again. And that was kind of like, that was a big win for me, to be able to say, okay, I can still do this. I just, there were people in my ear and in my mind that said some things that kind of broke me down and made me believe that I would never accomplish those things.
What, qualify or win it, or
even win a show?
I know, but like, what was the roadblock that you dealt with? Was it conditioning? Was it a size thing?
I think it was conditioning.
You weren't injuries. It was only a bicep tear,
yeah,
right? That's the only real injury.
Mm-hmm. I think it was really a conditioning issue that my entire career. I mean, Jay, I competed with you guys.
I know. You've had a lot of coaching, too. You've had a lot of coaching.
Yeah, I worked with Chris Aceto. Chris Aceto bought me really good.
A couple of times.
Yeah, for the Orlando Pro, for the Brazil. And then, also the disheartening thing is sometimes you feel like, man, I thought I should have won that one. And then you don't win. And it's like, well, what else do I have to do? So then you think, well, I was the best conditioned guy in the show, so maybe I need to get bigger. So then you start pushing for more size, and
it's our biggest demon.
Yeah. So getting with Patrick, I think he kind of just put it in my head.
What your limitations to what your structure is, and I think that's everyone's.
What would you say is different with Patrick compared to some not like in other coaches that you?
I think Patrick's way more involved than other coaches that I worked with. Again, him and I will talk on the phone every day, 45 minutes, an hour.
You think the body needs to be analyzed on a daily basis when you're prepping for a show at this caliber?
I think so.
Do you take pictures every day, or do you
FaceTime every day? Every day. I think, I everyone works differently. I think I'm the type of person that kind of, my body's a little bit different. He was telling this to Matt yesterday, and he really understands how my body moves at this point. My wife was actually this morning was like, so what's the plan? And he's like, all right, well, this is what's going to happen the next few days. And so he's like, all right.
I had to make a plan. I had to plan what I need at the grocery store. We're going to figure that out.
Yeah,
exactly. Yesterday, we're in there. I'm just sitting there chatting with him by the Airbnb, and he's like, he looks like shit like 2 weeks out. He doesn't look anything, and this, and a week out. And then he starts talking about how as he gets closer, it just completely dramatically changes everything.
Yeah. So, it's cool when you have someone that understands how you work. I think that's the biggest difference, though. He's just really involved in my prep. Not just my prep, though. He wants to know what's going on in my life, because that obviously affects. Like if you're going through shit at home, or you're struggling financially, or you're stressed with a girlfriend, or whatever it is, that affects how you're training, how you're looking. All of that.
Sleep,
stuff.
everything.
Your sleep.
You represented all the Dominicans of.
Yeah.
There's a Dominican side of bodybuilding, right? Yeah. There's the Victors and the Juans. And,
that was my boys.
Yeah. I mean, you guys were kind of like that team up over there, right?
New York. Oh, yeah. Jersey. Wow. Yeah, they're still my boys. Victor's
who's the best Dominican bodybuilder?
Victor. I think Victor is incredible. He
still looks crazy, right?
It's wild to me.
He's my age. He's literally a couple days older.
Yeah, Jay, you look really good too. You guys have,
but he is still.
But he looks like he could still step on stage.
Yeah. Bro, it's crazy.
I just saw him in Turkey or something. He had an event there, and he was walking with a T-shirt on, and I'm like,
the hell?
I don't think he's lost any size since 2007. What's going on with that?
I know. And he'll complain. He's like, I'm only eating like twice a day. I'm like, how are you maintaining that? I don't know.
He loves the prize money, though. He has this thing about prize money. So when he sees now Pittsburgh's, 100 for next season.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, how is that to look at? Like, there's potentially now with
a big show,
some good money. Like, you win. Listen, man, there were smaller shows I won 15. I mean, when I went Arnold's 100,000, it was life changing for me back in the early 2000s.
Absolutely.
But now you're having all these the Dubai show that
Well, I mean, you know firsthand, the sport is not cheap.
Yes,
between the food, the supplementation.
How did you do it in the beginning? I mean, your dad still like?
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, he's still training.
Jon De LaRosa.
Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it this time. I tried to offer to fly him out, and he wouldn't allow me to do that for him. But
at least he hears us soon.
We used to see you guys posing, always together.
Yeah, my dad's the best, and he's such a great dude. But yeah, so that the sport is not cheap, and to see sponsors and just the IFBB getting behind, paying us more, makes it a little bit easier for us to get ready and make it more of a lifestyle rather than a hobby. I think a lot of us, I mean, it's well documented on YouTube. MHP was following me around while I was getting ready for my pro qualifier, the USA's. I was working a full-time job as an elevator mechanic.
Okay, that's right. You were an elevator. I knew there was some sort of mechanical something.
Yeah, so it's like, and a lot of these guys do that. They're training people all day, then you got to get in the gym. And, it's a different beast when you're able to just eat, sleep, train. Now you're a professional athlete. But when you're doing it as a hobby because you got to go work to pay bills and afford your supplementation and your food and this and that, it's hard to make it to the top. So it's cool to see the IFBB and all the sponsors that they're getting behind paying us, I think, rightfully what we deserve. We deserve, if we're professional athletes, we should be paid as such. And it's cool to see that happening for, I'm going to be doing this for a little bit longer, God willing, but it's cool to see it.
Yeah, in the beginning, I want to talk a little bit about that. So, your dream, I mean, I know I was an East Coast guy, and I'm like, man, if I just do well, I'm going to get a contract, and I'll be able to quit working, because I was working everything, security, of course, maintenance. I was doing everything, right? So, was that the last real clocking job that you had? When you were doing the elevator stuff?
Yeah.
What year did you stop that?
2012.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, that's not the last job I had. It was the last full-time
clock out
job.
Yeah. But there were I was telling my wife this, there's certainly a lot of years that I was digging through my couch for some money to go buy some food.
Well, you did the supplement store thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you were there all the time, right?
Yeah, I worked it
all day long, right? Dave and Maximus thing, he lived it.
And I love that business. For me, it was a dream come true. We owned a store. I was helping people. I think for someone like me, I like helping people. So it was cool to be able to help people get into fitness and, introduce them to the bodybuilding world if they weren't a fan of it or knew anything about it, and help people get healthy. That to me, I took a lot of pride in. And people would walk in and they're like, "You actually work here?" I'm like, "Yeah. I have to. I can't afford to pay someone to run it, so I got to run it." So it was cool. I had some really cool experiences. I tell my wife this all the time. There was a lady who was a lifetime client of mine. She had come in 4 weeks before her wedding, heavyset woman. And she's like, "I need to lose 30 pounds in the next 3 weeks before my wedding." I'm like, ugh. I could have been a salesman and sold her 3 different fat burners, nighttime thing, and protein, and this and that. And I made a $300, $400 sale. Instead, I turned her away and I said, "I can't. I'm sorry. I would be lying to you if I told you that I could help you with anything in the store lose 30 or 40 pounds in the next 3 or 4 weeks. But I can write you a diet, and if you follow it, you might lose 15, 20 pounds." And so she did. And she got married, and she was down I think it was 15, 20 pounds.
Realistic number, yeah.
Yeah. And so grateful. Lifetime client of mine, bought her family, her cousins, her friends. And those types of experiences made it such a great time in my life. It was a great job.
Is that what the gym business is for you too?
Well, the gym, it's a little bit different business, right? There's a lot more people that are it's a constant turnover of people all day. We have about 4,000 members at the gym, so it's a lot of people. But it is really cool to like get to know everyone around the same times that I'm training or the same times that I'm there. And, you know, even if I stop someone in between like a set and I'm like, hey, why don't you try, you know, raising your elbows a little bit or drop your shoulders a little bit or, you know, try performing your squat this way. And they just like to get advice from quote unquote an IFBB pro. It's like, oh my God, thank you so much, you know, and they walk away with such a great positive experience instead of like a lot of these people, you know, they look at me and they just see like a big.
Yeah, but you're inviting. Some guys are super intimidating, I feel like. Yeah. You're a soft-spoken guy, so I'm sure you're some guy coming up and be like, hey, you're doing that wrong. The approach is way different.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm definitely not a jerk.
You're always a super nice, like, approachable.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a jerk about it, but, you know, it's still sometimes for me, sometimes I feel bad just even correcting someone, but 99% of the time, they're so great.
Are you training people there?
I do train a few clients, yeah. I'm always working, man. I never stop working.
We got to make it down there. The rumor on the streets is we have a membership.
Oh, yeah. Lifetime.
He told me that when it opened, he's like, you know, you're in the system, you have membership. So we're gonna slide in one day and not talk.
Yeah. I got
a membership in this.
Yeah.
You never wanted to do a gym back home?
I did.
I mean, you trained at some really great gyms. Yeah. Talk about the gyms you trained at.
Star Fitness is where
that's pretty popular.
Home base gym. They just closed, actually.
Oh, they did?
Fortunately, yeah.
Where was that located?
In the Bronx.
Yeah.
Phil and I trained there one.
Yeah, it was well, I was there with you guys. Great gym.
I think Mason used to have people there. You know, Mason. Yeah. Yes.
Wow, that's
he hit me like 2 weeks ago.
Really?
Yes, he texted me.
Oh God, how did that go?
Just always like, you know, I got this guy. You know, he's always found the new. He used to come up with some really good guys.
He did, yeah. Mason, man, wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. That brings.
Did Kai Green train there too? Sometimes
Kai stopped in a few times. Yeah,
Victor.
He would stop in. Victor was there with me all the time.
Is that so? It was a 24-hour gym.
Yeah, it was 24 hours. I think Monday through Friday.
Okay.
Saturday, Sunday they were closed. They would close early, and then obviously Bev.
There's you trained.
I would pop out there on the weekends and train legs with Juan almost every week.
Juan's still crushing it. I see him with Frank Seppi.
Dude,
crushing legs. They're still squatting 4 plates over there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, Frank and Frank's older than me.
Yeah. Incredible.
I mean, that's probably. Would you say that Weinberger's gym is the best equipped gym?
I would say so.
And motivating, pictures on the wall, like the whole orange, 100%. Right?
Yeah. When you go over there, it's just a different. You walk through the gym and you want to train. You want to like live up to the history that's there. You know, you don't want to. I mean, I've never went in there and was like, I'm just gonna do a bullshit arm workout. No, you're gonna go train. You know.
Well, I think the blue collar like work ethic is different where you grew up. I mean,
yeah, that too. But still, just being in that environment definitely brings out the best in you. I mean, Steve has done a great job.
I love going there because every time we go in there, it doesn't matter who you're with, doesn't matter how experienced you are, Steve will come up to you.
Yeah.
What do you think of the equipment? What can I do to make it better?
Yeah.
He could have left it alone 20 years ago and it'd still be, but he's still, how can I make my gym better? Even though it's the best, I want to make it even better.
Yeah. He's not everyone expanding. He's got the posing room now, which I think was a huge addition. You know, the fighting stuff he's always had with Derek Pans in the back. I mean, he's always changing out the equipment. Bless you. Bless you. So yeah, I think he's created a great gym. Definitely the best gym that I've ever been to.
You've traveled all over the world.
Yeah, I've been to quite a few gyms.
I was going through my Instagram the other day. Vanessa and I were going through it. I came across it and I showed a picture of 2016 Australia. Me, you, and Sister Nino.
Oh man, I remember that.
At Doherty's gym.
Yep. It's another great gym there. Yeah,
I trained at one end of the railroad.
How's that? How's that doing?
I don't know if it's doing as well because I think it's still there.
COVID really messed up part number.
Australia was under some.
That's a shame.
Hard times.
That's a shame.
They have a big expo actually the weekend of the Olympia.
Yeah.
Actually,
really?
And Von Moger is going to be there.
Oh wow!
Because Bucked Up,
I think
obviously has their energy sponsors.
They got us going out there.
Okay.
Owners.
Okay.
I think it's the Filex. Is it the same one that they just moved it from April? I think, but it's a big expo.
And that's Doherty's thing?
No, it's in Sydney. I don't know. It's I just know there's a huge expo.
Okay.
In Sydney.
So you're a supplement sponsor.
Yes, I'm with Yamamoto Nutrition.
So you got to travel over.
Yeah, I've been to Italy like 4 times in this year.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I mean it's really cool to be in this space in my career, and to be having these experiences still. I love Italy. Italy's really good. Unfortunately, I have not been able to try the food yet.
So you're eating out of contest diet?
Yeah.
And you prep all your food?
Yeah.
Taylor preps all your food?
Taylor will prep the food. Yeah, Taylor will prep the food for the travel there, and then I usually make sure that I have an apartment.
And so what are you eating now? Are you a fish eater? Are you a steak eater? Chicken? Like, what are you eating?
Unfortunately, I do have to eat fish, which I hate.
Like, it gets you thin skin.
I hate it. I don't know if I believe the thin skin bullshit.
It does.
Fucking thins your skin.
It does.
Does it?
I just want to hear that.
I know there's a lot of chatter.
Yeah.
I think I heard on Fuad's podcast, they were talking about, you don't have to eat fish, because Ronnie Coleman didn't eat fish, right?
Yeah.
I still think
the fucking yeah, come on.
Can't compare.
Yeah.
Listen, Phil did it. I did it. I think, if you're like, you will try every possible route to be your best.
Yeah.
That's to me. It's if you said, hey, like you would eat sawdust if you ate sawdust. Right?
I'm eating fish right now and I hate it.
Of course, I was like this.
Yeah.
I would hold my nose and eat it.
Yeah.
Mustard can only do so much.
Yeah. You get it down. You do what you got to do. I hate it though.
I eat a pound every meal.
Jesus. Yeah.
What kind of whitefish you eating?
Tilapia.
Oh. It's not even a real fish though.
No, it's terrible. That's terrible. But, we got to do what we got to do. And it's 2 meals a day.
So are you looking forward to now coming off the diet and being done with this season? And
my wife.
Are you going to keep competing after the?
No. I think my wife will chop my head off. I owe her a honeymoon.
You still haven't taken one.
Dieting all year.
Yeah.
We sat down again. We had a game plan. We sat down before the wedding, and she knew it was going to be a year that I was going to try and rebuild this career and take my last shot at it. And if it didn't work out, then we got to.
And it's gone way better, I'm sure, than you even expected it to.
Way better. Way better. So, we're blessed, but I also want to make sure that I prioritize the important things in life and spending time with my wife and my family. I haven't seen, my nieces and nephews as much as I would have loved to. But everyone, again, I have a really supportive family. Everyone understands. And, this year was about me and rebuilding this career. And now after this, I'm going to take some time off. As much time as I can. I did apply for the Arnold next year.
It's already out, the application process?
Yeah. So I did.
He ain't coming off diet.
Well, that's the thing.
$500K.
That's the thing. It's like I got to take the opportunity while I'm healthy. And
you have to eye that as a possible victory, right? You were done well enough this year. You can only move up.
I think I can. Yeah. I mean, listen, you can't go into the shows thinking you're going to not win. You have to want to win. And I think I have a shot with more time at doing really well, better than I did last year. I think this might be a controversial conversation, but I think I could have placed as high as 3rd in Ohio.
You were 4th.
I was 4th. But
and who was 3rd?
Brando,
that's right.
Who was softer from behind.
And how do you feel about him coming into this contest? And I kind of picked him as people weren't talking about him as much. I think potentially if he was 3rd there,
Well, I think that's part of the reason why. If he showed up with a physique that was like, wow, which he's
capable of.
He's capable of, right? But he didn't show it, in my opinion. And so that's why, when we look back at the pictures, I'm like what swayed it? Maybe it's the size. Maybe he's got really pretty shape.
A good shape, and he's got good size. Yeah.
Beautiful. But, again, I'm a fan of my physique, and I think, why didn't I get 3rd, So arguably I could have got 3rd, in my opinion. And, if I don't think I can get higher than that next year, then what am I even doing this for? And like you said, it's a $500,000.
Well, there was always that comparison with Hadi that we talked about.
Yeah.
You stacked up pretty well.
Yeah.
You guys are similar
height. You got good shape.
Yeah.
The dude is as thick as a house, but.
What would you say Hadi competes at? Would you know?
I have no idea.
Is it crazy? People think that we sit around and talk about weights and and protocols and everything else, which is very rare.
No idea. I know last time I competed, I was 238. So,
and you turned pro at what weight?
224. But I mean, the conditioning was not as good as it was at the Arnold, So I definitely could have gave up a few pounds, or maybe 218.
It's crazy. So 09, I did this quad stump comeback, 254.
Wow.
First Olympia I won, I was 273.
Wow.
I turned pro at 248. So if you look at beginning of the end of the career, how much weight I really quality, it was just a few pounds.
Yeah.
I mean,
just refined.
That 248 could have been 245. Probably I could have been sharper. So you figure 10 pounds of real, that's where my body was best at 255, that somewhere.
Yeah, that was
when I was up at 270, it was just rounder.
Yeah.
Not as much chisel physique.
Yeah.
But you go up against what you're standing at that moment.
Yeah. I was there at that show when you did the quad stomp, and I remember the hair on me. I was like, shit. It was wild, man.
We had Chris Aceto on the other day, and we asked him, what'd you think about 09 versus 01? Because 01 was kind of the...
he said that, and I was going back and looking through old video. You did do the quad stomp in 01.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. Now, nobody noticed that. Mm-hmm. You see him lift it up and slam it down on the abs and thighs with you and Ronnie, but they didn't really think about it until 09.
Yeah, well, and then you're going against Ronnie, too, who was a freak, and I'm still, it's hard to, when he walked out in 09, I was like, dude, man, it's hard to, compare that to anything,
You were close to Victor in 07.
Yes, sir.
Was Vicky disappointed when he lost the Olympia?
Here comes the question.
Uh-oh. Who won? I'll ask it. He won't.
You feel Victor could have won it?
I thought Victor could have won. Yeah.
Just an argument.
Yeah, listen, I don't, it's not that, obviously you've won it several times, right? But I think it's funny, Patrick and I were talking about this last night. He was talking about social media and the connection you make with people, and obviously the people that you're connected to, you want to see do well, and just inadvertently your vote goes towards them. So when Victor, I knew that Victor really gave his all going into that one, and I thought it was the best he's ever looked. So I just thought, man, if that was a one time, it was that time.
And he missed 08 because I think he had some legal things.
Yeah,
it was his tour. There was the
his bicep, right?
No,
it was
that
quad.
was quad.
Oh, it was quad. He tore his bicep in Mexico, right?
Well, he broke his arm. Mexico. Yeah. We were doing a guest appearance out there, and it's funny. Victor said he always used to tell me. I remember I kind of injured my ankle playing basketball. He's like, "Bro, you want to be a bodybuilder or you want to be a basketball player?" And I was like, "Yeah, you're right." Am I playing basketball for? Then we're walking through the expo, and these kids are like, "Oh, let's take a picture," and I'm like, "No," because I had Victor in my mind. You want to be an arm wrestler? You want to be a bodybuilder? I was like, "No." Then Victor walks over, he's like, "Oh, I'll take a picture," and then whap, the thing just snapped.
I know, but so I don't understand. They wanted to take a picture, or they actually wanted to arm wrestle?
So it started off as they wanted to take a picture, and then, of course, the kid is like trying to pin Victor. Victor's kind of letting him win, and then pinning him, and then just freak. The kid just kind of threw his body weight into it, and pow!
It was a loud break.
Oh yeah.
No one's ever talked about this,
Oh yeah,
because you were present.
That was I don't even know how to describe it, except that the way that I would picture the sound is if somebody took a broomstick, a wooden broomstick, and had enough strength to twist it and crack it. That's what it sounded like. It just pow.
What do you say?
I remember. I mean, I remember like it was yesterday. It was such the look on his face. First of all, his arm was just kind of he took it off of the arm wrestling table, and it just kind of fell and dangled. I was like, oh, that does not look good. And his just look of shock in his face, holy shit. Yeah. So that was a wild, and we were in Mexico.
Pacific West Injury Law. Injured? Call 602-HURT. Car accident? Call 602-HURT. Our firm is dedicated to you and your recovery.
See, and I'm going to think of it from a totally different angle.
Yeah.
It could have saved him. What would happen if he was bench pressing and had 400 pounds over him and something similar would happen?
Yeah. Well, I think it was the torque and the way the kid did it. Like, benching, you're
just say through his body.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering if there was some type of weakness in there that allowed that.
Oh, yeah.
It might have been worse if it happened another time.
Yeah. Yeah. But that was...
That's like you going right now to torture gym and throwing 405 on the flat bench.
Sure. Yeah. Well, that kind of happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you weren't flat bench.
No, I was flat bench.
That's like the forbidden, right?
Yeah. No, I don't mess around with that. But
see, I saw that from a distance, and I saw this one over here.
What happened?
Well, no, you just kind of
put too much
lighter strain.
Well, yeah, we kind of went for a heavy set. We had a 315 on the bar. We were doing shoulder press, and I just felt a twinge. I was like, "Oh no!" And I racked it, and that was it. Thank God, nothing came of it. But definitely, I caught it in time. It could have been real bad. Still,
tender.
Yeah, no, not tender. It was definitely like a strain for sure.
Massage person over there.
Yeah.
I used to spend 6 hours a week on massage therapy.
Wow.
Do you do any body maintenance?
Yes, sir. I do about 2 hours a week, not 6 hours. I wish I could afford that, but it is. And this is what I mean about, seeing the page go up. It's exciting for a lot of these athletes to really treat themselves as a professional. I mean, if you think about professional boxers or football players, whatever, this is part of the job. You have to take care of your body to continue to perform at a high level. And especially what we do, beating the crap out of ourselves day in and day out at, different body parts every day. I think it's wise to be able to do that. I do 2 hours a week, and it costs me a little over $300 a week. That's $1,200.
You have a specific person you use, or
I have two different people that I use. Yeah. So
you have to.
Yeah, it's important.
Where are you taking this lady on your honeymoon?
It's funny. I've asked her a million times, and she has not told me where she wants to go. So now we're limited to driving somewhere because there's no way I'm paying like $3,000 or $4,000 to get on a plane to go to Europe or something. So we're gonna drive to like Georgia.
Just drive to like Fort Lauderdale.
Just drive down to Miami.
Just got to steer around the hurricanes that you guys.
Yeah, you want to get the hell out of there. Don't go to Georgia or anywhere.
Yeah.
But why aren't you? You need to be a little more proactive.
I know, right?
Tell me where you want to go.
So, John, what are you, from the beginning of your career, you've worked with these coaches, first Olympia to now.
Yeah.
If you can look back and say, man, if I would have known or could have known, or is it easier for you to get in shape now? Because it seems like your body's just, the way he talks, Matt gives us the update all the time.
Yeah.
Like your body's just clicking now. It's almost like you're not even doing anything drastic to build and get lean at the same time. So do you think you overstressed yourself to get in shape a lot and improve? And
Yes.
What do you think is the biggest turnaround for you?
I think so. There's the biggest two factors is, and this is what I mean about loving that Patrick is so involved. I think the biggest factor is I get heavy. I can get up. We start eating for the next week, 2 weeks, I'll be 270 by next week.
I know, but what's that 270 look like, John?
It's not bad. It's, I still have my abs, am I holding water and stuff? Sure. Am I holding some more body fat? Sure. But it's not a bad 270. I can show you pictures. But I think when coaches in the past have seen me, they're like, this kid's like 5'6" at 270 pounds. He's got a lot of fat to lose, right? So then they'll throw me on 3 hours of cardio a day.
You have a fast or slow metabolism?
I would say average. I don't think it's fast for sure. I don't think it's slow. I don't get fat, I'm doing 30 minutes of cardio getting ready for the show, but I've been doing 30 minutes of cardio all year. So Patrick is not like, has there been moments in prep where he's like, hey, go do 40 minutes? Sure.
I bet, yeah.
But for the most part, he's not pulling all my carbs. I've been on preps where I haven't had a single carb meal for 6, 7, 8 weeks because they're just trying to drag me down. So I think a part of it is just Patrick really paid attention, Chris was also very good at this too, which is why I think some of my best showings was outside of Patrick was with Chris.
But different lifetime for you. Stresses in your life.
Yeah.
Lived New York. You lived in New York then, right?
Yeah.
Back double bicep.
Yeah.
Who has the best back double biceps in the shows in this lineup? Think you can compete with these guys in the back double? It's one of your strong poses.
It is. I think it's become one of my strongest poses, but I think Derek is just lights out from.
Would you like to hit a back double next to him?
Fuck yeah. Put me right next to him.
Have you been next to him, Everett?
No, I'd love, my dream, you were getting to it. My dream call out would be me, Hadi, and him.
You stood next to Hadi.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I stood at the Arnold. I was right next to him. Yeah. Which, looking at that was really, really inspiring for me to see.
What did you think? How did you compare?
I think he's a better bodybuilder at this point.
A lot of detail.
Yeah. Just the professionalism from A to Z. Like the dude, I tell this to my wife, like I remember getting backstage and like everyone's hanging out and talking and whatever, and this dude is like zoned in.
Because he doesn't speak English.
Well, but he's also making sure his tan is good. He's going through his posing. He's pumping up. Like the dude pumped up for like an hour before we get on stage. Most of the guys pumped up for 15 minutes. So he takes his job really serious. But that would be my dream call out, man. I think me, him, and Derek would be really cool to see.
What's Derek's height?
It's about your height. 5'5", 5'6".
Yeah, he's like 5.
And what's Hadi?
About the same. That's why
I want you, because I saw it. Tell the Hadi story of the Arnold UK.
Man, I'm always gonna be a fan of this dude because of what he did. Just behind the scenes stuff, like we've had plenty of conversations off camera, and I think you're just an awesome guy, Matt. I've created friendships with you guys, and I know you guys. I'm still a fan because I used to watch you before I knew you personally. But Hadi, again, a huge fan of his physique, huge fan of what he's done in the bodybuilding world. But this kind of like really changed my perception of him and moved me into a more like, wow, this is a really good dude. So I'm sitting there. I don't have the biggest fan base in the UK. I'm just kind of making my... was it 2 weeks after the Arnold? So I was just starting to create a buzz. I had some people come up and take some pictures, but after about 40 minutes, 30 minutes, I'm sitting there alone. Samson's line is crazy. Hadi's line is crazy. James Hollingshead's line, obviously he's from out there, crazy line. So I'm just kind of like taking it all in, like, man, really cool. I can't believe it. Here again, my wife is talking to Marlenka, Samson's wife, and Hadi sends his guy over to me, and he's like, Hadi wants to talk to you. I said, oh, yeah, is everything okay? He goes, yeah, he wants to talk to you. I said, okay. So I head over to his table, and the guy has a line endless. And he has his handler, or the guy that he's with, translate, and he says, Hadi would like for you to stand here and take pictures. And I said, no, but these are his fans. And he goes, no, but he wants you to take pictures with him. And I said, oh, okay. And he goes, you're a champion too. These people deserve to know who you are as well. So I was like, wow, that was really, he didn't have to do that, but because he saw me sitting there, and it wasn't like I sat there with like a sad puppy. I was like really happy. I was like, man, this is really cool. But he wanted to give me the opportunity to stand there with him and meet these people and talk to them. And I just, what a stand-up dude for doing that,
Especially with the language barrier.
Yeah.
Just to recognize that someone's sitting there and saying, hey, come over here with me and enjoy it.
Yeah.
This is about the fans. It's not the competition is until the next day.
Yeah.
And if you remember right, they literally got off the plane and came straight
right
there,
right to,
because he didn't get their days in advance because of the visa situation.
So you had a father as a role model, but like who else was like? I saw Chris Dickerson. I saw Bob Harris. That would when I was 16, I read Bob Harris's book.
Yeah.
Did you have anyone that you looked upon as kind of someone that mentored you, or you like kind of related yourself to as you started following magazines? Because I know it was books.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, is there someone that inspired you besides your old man?
So, yeah, it was my dad and my Uncle Sal, my late Uncle Sal, that they were...
As his brother? Or?
Yeah, my dad's brother. They both would go to the gym. And
they were competing, right? Your dad competed.
Yeah, my dad competed.
Masters.
Yeah, so they were both just these jack dudes, and I was like, man, my dad would bring home the magazines, and then my uncle Sal bought the Arnold Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding and gave it to me. And in there, I remember looking at all the different workouts, but also the pictures. And then I started to look at shorter bodybuilders, the guys that I could relate to, like the Lee Priest, the Sean Rays, the Lee Labrada.
Yeah. And
I was like, man, these guys are like me. I want to look like that. And so, I mean, even I remember having pictures of Paul Dillette in my posters of Paul Dillette. You remember the tear out posters that?
Of course, and Flex and
And I used to have all you
hanging
guys,
on
all you guys on there. You know, I remember my mom was a little worried. She's like, you got a lot of guys hanging up in your room, man. What's going on in here?
I think a lot of parents had that with it. Their kids are bodybuilding fans.
The magazines would hit the racks, like you'd wait.
Yeah.
And I would literally go into whatever it was, a bookstore or a grocery store, and I literally would sit in front of that rack. I'm not kidding. I would read front to back, probably an hour and a half, probably a lot. I would stand there, and I would go in every day because I'd wait for Muscle Mag to drop, then Iron Man and Flex and Muscle and Fitness. Muscle and Fitness, honestly, was the last of this because it was more like...
It didn't have the hard...
didn't have the hardcore... Like, very rarely did they put bodybuilders in there. It was more like fitness-related, a lot of swimsuit stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, Muscle Mag always had good, columns in there. So you'd actually sit and actually learn and read about things, which I think is different from... Now you flick Instagram.
Sad.
And do you keep an eye on your guys? Like, do you keep an eye on the competition? Is there anyone that you've been watching, like, wow, this guy makes a lot of noise that you guys sit and talk about? Like,
no,
I mean, Nick Walker's dropped out now.
Yeah.
So
so first and foremost, I'm a competitor, and you know, I love the sport of bodybuilding, but I'm a fan. Like,
I know, but if you're a fan, you're going to look at people's Instagram.
I do, but when I'm competing, I try not to focus on, because again, this is just me personally. I feel like that deters from what I need to do to be my best, right? And there are times where I'm like scrolling Instagram and I'll stop and I'll see it. I'm like, fuck, he looks really good. And then I'll start this is just me. I'll start to pick myself apart. And that's dangerous for me because I'll oh man, he's got better arms than me. Is he going to be better than me? You know,
we all have flaws, man.
Yeah. But for me, when I'm getting ready for a competition, like I choose not to pay attention to what other people are doing and put more attention on what I need to do to be my best. Because in the past, I did focus on, look at this guy, like he looked crazy. You know, how am I ever going to compete with that? Instead of telling myself, no, I can't. So going into the Arnold, no one thought I was going to do good.
He did.
Well, Matt's my boy. You know?
I know, but you were sending him pictures too.
Yeah, I saw the progress.
Yeah, but outside of a few people, no one really thought I was going to do it. But you want to know the craziest thought? I continue to believe and put in my head, I'm going to be compared to Hadi. That is what I need to look like and prepare myself for. So that's all I continue to tell myself. I need to prepare myself to be my best, and I can't be my best if I'm focusing on other people. So, yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of bodybuilding. I love the new guys coming up. Martin, I think, has a great physique. Martin Fitzwater, I'm a huge fan of his. Rafael Brandao, we trained together at Flex Lewis's gym for a while, about a year.
Down in Florida.
He's got a beautiful physique as well. So many exciting. Andrew Jack, man, holy crap!
Massive this year.
Huge fan of his physique. So pretty.
He'll be the biggest guy in the show.
Yeah,
I think he'll just be bigger than Samson.
This is my opinion. I was hoping, and I said it several times to a few people, if the dude stayed on his diet and gets really peeled out of his mind. I think he could walk in here and win this thing.
We thought he could walk in his first one.
Yeah.
We predicted he could be the first ever walk-in Mr. Olympia winner.
I really believe
He 100% could win.
Yeah.
Or he could get beat. He has the ability to win.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, I'm a huge fan of his physique. I'm a fan of bodybuilding. I love a lot of these guys, the way they look. But when I'm getting ready for a show, I try not to look. It's no good for me.
What do you think?
I think it's a good mindset.
If you were competing now, do you think you would have looked at the gram?
Yeah.
Do you think it would have messed with you or no?
Yes and no. I mean, if I had the confidence, I think he's at a different place now. I mean,
that's what I was going to say.
I mean, when you're confident with like the coaching process and like you've gone through the trial and error, it's like landing it. And I feel Jon, like it's a little different when you're more compact, the height wise, and like I was trying to come down and lose over 20 pounds of water the last week. It was very treacherous for me.
Yeah.
The water depletion was so difficult.
Yeah.
Where I don't know what kind of distance you are from your weight versus now.
About 7 pounds.
You look pretty lean. So it's almost just tapering down some water and kind of just.
Yeah. Well, I also think what he was saying, the mindset too, like if I had won a Mr. Olympia, I would have the confidence to be like, fuck these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
better.
I walked in a gym and trained in a tank top and shorts all the time, whether I was on or off or didn't matter.
Yeah, see,
I didn't care. Like, if some people like train legs, I can't train in a tank top because all the blood will be in the legs and I'll look out of balance. It's never the case with me.
Yeah. See, I don't have that. Like my wife will ask me, she loves when I wear tank tops, and I never wear tank tops. One, because I'm super hairy and it's annoying to fucking shave.
Got to keep up with that.
I told Patrick, I said, if he has to make weight, just shave. He'll lose 5 pounds.
So you're shaved right now and ready to go? Okay.
Yeah. I got to start shaving days out.
You don't pull a Regan and shave the day of.
Shave an hour before you
Yeah.
Christ.
So, one, because I'm hairy, but two, I just don't feel like
huge.
Yeah.
You don't feel huge or?
No, I don't feel like I'm impressive to look at like that. It's like.
So you're not going to fly home from Vegas like all lean down in a tank top?
No, I'm not that guy for sure. I'm always covered up. Yeah.
I was like that too, though. I mean, I stayed covered up the last week,
Yeah, she loves it when I wear like, tank tops and short shorts and stuff. I'd rather not.
What are they doing a press conference this year?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they are.
I wasn't sure. I'm probably not invited.
The format's always changing, right?
Yeah. Because I think now, years ago, obviously, they would bring all of them. Every home.
Yeah.
There's so many Olympia champions, and there's so many divisions. So I think
what about the gala? I didn't see anything about a gala.
They're doing something else now, I think.
Are they?
Yeah, that's what Dan told me yesterday.
I'm not sure.
What did so Florida versus Vegas?
Yeah.
Talk about that. You live in Florida. Might be easier if you were competing in Florida, right?
Yeah.
Where have you competed? How many times in Florida versus?
I've competed 3 times in Florida. I mean, listen, if you're asking me about the ease of competing in Florida, it's fucking
drive up to wherever it's at.
Yeah, it's an easy drive.
But Vegas is still.
But I just
Aura.
Yeah, the Olympia for me, it belongs in Vegas. It's where it belongs. I feel like the prestige of having it here is just a different level. Like, listen, again, as an athlete, do I prefer to just take a quick drive to Orlando? What is there to do in Orlando? On the
Mickey Mouse.
It was nice being under one house, though. I kind of liked that all the events right there and the expo. That made it very suitable.
Yeah,
I've said this for a long time too. Like, Vegas is it's the entertainment capital of the world.
Yeah.
You got the biggest UFC fights, the biggest boxing fights. Right. You just had the Super Bowl here.
Right.
It belongs here.
Yeah. It just belongs here. If you want to consider yourself a professional athlete and doing things on a big level, I think here's a place to do it.
What's the protocol usually for the last week, though? I mean, is it just easy training? And you just said you were going heavy yesterday, so I mean,
yeah, I
is it just touch and go or?
Yeah, I think the next he's gonna have me back up.
Are you training with anyone currently? Training partner?
I train like for this prep. I intentionally trained on my own. I felt I really wanted to make this a personal journey for myself and dig deep and, you know, prove to myself what I can do. I didn't want to rely on anyone, you know. But from time to time, I did train with Esteban. Matt met him yesterday. He's a 212 guy. He came from Colombia. He's been staying and training at my gym. So I've been helping push him along, and he's been helping me.
What's he doing?
212, yeah. Yeah, he won the Chiseled Pro in Florida.
Okay.
Really pretty physique. I think he's going to do really well.
The countdown begins.
Yeah. Days.
Yeah, man, it's, you know, this seems like it's like you're spot on for it, you know. 40 years old.
Yeah.
Could you imagine you were still bodybuilding at this level at 40? If you think back at 24, 25, did you figure you'd be? Because I called it a day, 40. I turned 40 in August, and my last Olympia was a month later. I walked away. So is there a limitation? Is there a timeline? Or you just, is this your second wind? And
I want to say, like, I've always had the mindset kind of like Dexter. I want to do this as long. I love competing. I love bodybuilding. I have such a, you know, when you find something in life that you're just really passionate about, why stop it?
What shows are on your bucket list, though? Any shows that you have not competed?
So here's where I would feel comfortable walking away now, or within the next few years. For me, I'm at a stage in my life where I feel like I need to be proud of the things that I've accomplished and the things that I've done and where I've gone and who I've become. Bucket list for me would be winning an Arnold, 100%. Like, that is something that I've always dreamed of accomplishing. And I do feel that's within reach. Obviously, dream come true would be winning an Olympia. That's a little bit tougher to accomplish. Not saying it's not. Who the hell knows? I mean, look at me at 40, like you just said. But yeah, I don't have a limit. I want to continue competing like a la Dexter. And yeah, as long as I can stay healthy and I'm improving and I'm not hurting myself or my family or the people around me, why give up something you love to do? You know, if I was in a different place financially, and I could just say, I don't need to do this anymore, I would still do it, you know, because I love competing. You know, I love the whole process of it. I love the excitement and getting your tan on and the jitters before you go on stage and where am I going to get called out? And, you know, the competitive drive of it.
Do you like the aspect of the travel schedule after the events? Like you said, you mentioned you've been to Italy a bunch of times.
Yeah, I love it. If you can be a positive influence in other people's lives and represent something you love to do in other countries and other areas,
that's the best part.
Yeah, dude.
Cultures that you would tap into.
I tell this to my wife all the time. The biggest blessing that bodybuilding brought me, not like I've made a lot of money. I haven't won a lot of pro shows. I think I've won 6 pro shows. So
you win New York Pro?
I was on. You're
second.
That's a bucket list.
That's a touchy one.
I was second like 3 times.
Yeah,
man.
Just Juan,
Sergio, Rami. So it's rough.
That has to be on the list too.
It is.
That needs to be.
It is. It's a bucket list one. But yeah, I say this to my wife. The biggest blessing has been able to travel and touch other people in different areas of the world and see the world. You know.
Well, we went to Dubai together that time,
and that was a great experience.
Saw the military. And why were you there? What were we doing there?
I got flown out for Panada.
A double? Is that Fly Muscle Show?
Yeah. And then
what year was that?
17 or 18.
Yeah, that was a great experience. I still look at those photos. It makes me so happy that we did that.
You know, that was another one of those where I'm not going to say any names. I reached out to everybody.
Yeah, I remember this.
We had 2 days worth of appearances to go see the troops. None of us make any money.
No.
And the first day, you didn't come in yet. You came in a day after us.
Yeah.
I reached out to Guy's sister Nino. He's like, done. I'll go. I reached out to Angelica, who she was not even a U.S. citizen yet.
Yeah.
I explained it to her. I said, Jay's going, Guy's going. She's like, done. So we went the first day, it was like 16 hours, our whole off day.
Yeah.
And then the last day when everyone left, I was able to get your passport added, and we all got to go see a fighter carrier. Or
yeah,
that was
awesome.
That was a bucket list.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was the three of us.
Yeah. We were on the boat. Remember that crazy boat thing?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was the last day.
Did we ride in the
Yeah.
They took us out.
yeah, and the little rafty boat thing.
The thing was doing like U-turns, like super fast. Crazy.
Oh, we got to
Still have those pictures. We're in life jackets.
Yeah.
we got to go up in they brought, it was just there for a day.
Yeah.
The aircraft carrier came in port, and they let the USO got us cleared to go on. And I remember we went upstairs. You was just like, you cannot take pictures of those planes. They're covered up because the world doesn't know of them yet.
Yeah.
They're complete secret, and they had them covered so satellites couldn't see.
Yeah.
Really?
So so beforehand they're like, if we see you taking a picture, we have to take you. Yeah, because they told me
You've done so much, Jay. If I was like,
you don't remember us walking up and down?
Dude, I didn't remember the boat in Budapest. And you're like, remember we rode that boat? And I'm like, oh my gosh.
because he's done so much shit. That's why.
We don't really do like tourism things.
Yeah.
We got there a day early.
Yeah.
He's like, you want to go on this boat? And I'm like, what is it? I'm like, it's like,
It was really nice. It was really nice. Budapest is beautiful.
So we get on this boat, and we're like on the second story, and they just went down the river, and you could see like all these like gold tassels and shit. And it was like, this is pretty cool. We just sat there and just
see things like that. It's like, man,
take advantage of it though. That's one thing I can say is, I mean, he's traveled with me a lot, and I mean, I just don't like to do a lot of stuff, but it's like the things that we have done, pretty memorable.
Yeah,
starting to really kind of tour now, and he just went to the Great Wall for the second time.
Yeah.
He had the picture taken like he was the only one there.
Yeah.
No, I just removed the people in the background.
Yeah.
I had someone remove
that's something.
because there's like you go to the Great Wall and everyone's like, oh, you're there by yourself. Like, no, there was 1,000 people there. We just had to Photoshop them out.
Delete them out, yeah. Well, that's something I'll never turn down. Whenever I get an opportunity to travel and see a different part of the world, or even the same part of the world again, I definitely
see. And I'm privy to some tours that are coming up for Yamamoto that you don't know about yet. So,
well, there you go.
Mr. Olympia, what's your prediction for like who comes out on top? Is it hard to say?
It's hard to say, but
can history be repeated that the former champ comes back to win the title? You think Hadi can win it? It comes down to who nails it.
I believe I really do believe it's going to come down to who's in the best condition. Both Derek and Hadi look incredible, but I'm going to go out there and just say I think Derek will win again.
Do you think like an Andrew Jack can come in and upset that whole thing, or Samson?
100%.
You think there could be four potential guys that win this contest?
Yeah. Samson, incredible physique as well. Huge guy. He's got to tighten things up from behind. I think
he's getting a little better though.
Yeah, he's got the last showing that he had. What was that? France looked great. I think that was his best showing. Yeah. He keeps working on that. I mean, yeah, he can win it. I think again, Andrew for me, out of everyone in the line, but including myself, I mean, it's lights out for everyone. That's a one.
Let's talk about the poses he wins out of the gate. I mean, front double, front lat spread.
Even the first two, the front relax is like, you look at that, it's like, holy shit.
How much missing, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. So full and round and bubbly and tiny little waist and legs are huge.
Talk about you're in the era now. You were a fan of the early eras.
Yeah.
How do you feel when they compare eras to today's standards? Do you think?
I think you guys like were just, meaning you, Ronnie, Kevin, Flex, like that era of bodybuilding, Sean, Lee, like fuck.
It top 7, 8, like
it just like it didn't stop. You can just say name after name, and everyone was really, really good. Now it's like there's some really good guys, and I mean, look at the top 4 or 5 right now. We just mentioned are good, and they're really good. But I just think maybe it's a personal thing, but I just think
I know. But you say top 10, Wheeler's been like 7th or 8th at the Olympia.
I know.
So is Kevin.
Yeah. So when you talk about
so have you and so have Ronnie.
Yes, of course. I mean, I was 8th. I mean, There was a time where it's like, man, I just want to get in the mix, and
that's me now. I just want to get in the mix.
But I truly thought in 01, that's the first year I'm like, I'm coming to win. Because I already stood next to Ronnie on a European tour in 2000, so it actually gave me a little better confidence. So that's why I said, who do you want to stand with? Because
Hadi and
you haven't got to stand next to Derek, so if you could get that call out, I mean,
it kind of gives you a blueprint, right? Like that's how I felt at the Arnold. Like, was Hadi better than me? 100%. He awesome.
But it's nice to.
But it's like, wait a second, I'm not that far away from that. In your mind, when you're not having that comparison, you're like, oh, how much better is he? When you actually see it, it's like, oh shit. Okay.
I kind of liked when they used to do the call outs, like certain judges would request. Yeah, I want, and they might pull a guy that's like not even running with the top two just to do the comparison where it's like people want to see that. Like, people will listen to this.
Remember they did that Gustavo Bedell?
Oh, they did challenge round.
Yeah.
But, we were still top guys then. But, I mean, Gunter could compare, and he really wasn't in the hunt for those top spots.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's cool when you can actually stack some guys that have similar builds to see really how it weighs out. It's just like you want to see Andrew next to Samson. It would be great to see
just those tall dudes.
Yes, two guys. Like, that's a two-person call-out.
Yeah.
But rarely do we see that now, because I feel like the shows...
They need to run through them.
And I hate to say that. I don't want to say, like, they're trying to speed it up, but with the Olympia, you have 3 divisions with, like, over 60 people.
Yeah.
Classic, men's physique, and bikini all have over 60.
Yeah.
You got 16, or we have 16 or 15 or...
Yeah, we can put this on camera or not, or it's up to you guys. I don't care. But, like, personally, I feel like it kind of, for me, takes away the prestige of being at the Olympia when you have 60 people. Like,
well, you also have divisions that carry the Mr. Olympia name. Like, you're competing in Open Olympia.
That's my point.
Real stand-up trophies. Here, but that's what it is. I talked about this the other day. Is like
one, by the way.
It just gets. I should have brought it for you. That's so you could touch it. And
actually this week maybe we should have brought it.
Yeah. So
it just
like men's physique classic, and then you have amateur versus I'm competing in the Mr. Olympia.
Yeah,
the amateur. Like
it should.
You can remember when it started. The show was all about men's and women's.
That's right.
That's it.
Well, and also, you were the best in the world. How can there be 60? Like, it should be, okay, there's going to be the top 15 in the world. That's it. In every category.
Yeah, I don't know how they would be able to fix that.
I understand on the business side.
It's just like any other sport around the world, there's an elimination.
Yes.
Go to the elimination. You're in the 100. You're competing Thursday. And then get it through. Then boom, you're at the big.
Now you're at the big dance. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, now, unless they did
it's so subjective though. That's the problem. Is like you put that many guys on a stage, and listen, Steve's an expert, but it's still when you're stacking. There's got to be someone that's not going to get an exact look.
I think this all needs to be handled before you get to the Olympia.
Yeah, I think so too. Like he said, I think elimination. So we're going to water it down to 20 guys or 15 guys.
It should be 20 max in any division.
Yeah, I agree.
Because look, if you're number 21, you're not going to win.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
What do you mean?
No, meaning if there's 60 people and you get it down to the 20, number 21 through 40, 60, you say, well, I didn't get a chance. You weren't.
Yeah, you were never in the running.
Going to be in the running to win.
Yeah,
you were there. They should get it down to where these are the legit people.
Right.
This is another reason why.
And if you think about it, it makes the competition itself that much more exciting because the top 20 are a lot closer than number 1.
Well, your 16 are going to be pretty damn good.
Oh yeah. Well, that's why
that 10, 11, 12, 13.
I mean,
is
listen,
still deep.
You got Bonac. You got Brandon Curry.
Second before Bonac.
Yeah.
Curry's won.
Right.
So both won multiple Arnolds.
Yeah. So you got some really...
They've been disrespecting Brandon some, I feel like.
Yeah. Well...
I thought about that earlier today.
Yeah. I don't think he's getting the love.
About him.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the guy hasn't been... Last year he got 4th after he was in the hospital.
Yeah.
Other than that, he hasn't been out of the top 3 since 19.
I know. Like, yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I think...
Probably 18.
You know, the thing about this is what kind of we were talking about this yesterday. This is what kind of bothers me about the bodybuilding landscape today. Not just not bodybuilding, but the sport in itself. It's kind of like you almost feel like if you have a large following, you're creating hype for yourself. You're being talked about, as opposed to someone like Brandon, who's a family guy, really isn't on social. He's kind of like me. We were just talking about this. I kind of hate social media because when I was being trained with Victor, and you guys didn't have social media. We weren't thinking about, I got to set up my camera and make sure the light is good and the
pain in the ass, honestly.
It was, we're going to the gym, we're going to fucking train, and that's it.
No,
you guys didn't have to worry about the right angle because the right angle was going to come from.
Do you do YouTube or?
I just, I'm just starting to, and I'm just.
Doesn't matter. It's not serious. I'm a YouTuber.
I know. I'm
an influencer.
Jay said you're an influencer now.
But you had the ability to do that. I got to pay somebody $300.
Yeah, and I pay a lot.
So we just talked about massage therapy. That's $1,200 a month.
Yeah.
Now you're putting out a video, $300 a week.
Thank
another
goodness
$1,200
for TLF. Thank goodness for Yamamoto.
Yeah.
Who else?
Yeah.
And TLF is a nice place you can shoot too.
Yes.
I trained at the gym.
At their gym. Yeah.
I was literally just messaging them earlier.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're coming from Florida.
Yeah.
There's a hurricane hitting on Wednesday.
Oh, God. Hopefully my home is okay. But yeah, so all these things, they add up, man. It's expensive, but I hate it. But the guys like what's his name? Rafael Brandao, 2 million followers. It's a business for him, and it's hard not to look at his social media and be like, oh, that guy looks really fucking good. Regardless of...
He's the biggest star over there.
Yeah. So then you're going to push those people in your mind, even if you don't really expect to do that. In your mind, they're already there. They're already in the forefront of your thoughts. So you want to see that person, as opposed to somebody like Brandon, who really isn't posting much. He's more with his family. Probably doesn't care much about Instagram and YouTube and all that shit.
It has to be coming towards the end of his run, I would think.
Yeah, that too.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, going to wish you the best of luck. Who do you want to shout out before you go? You got some sponsors.
Well, thank you guys for having me on, Jay. Again, it's always an honor. I'm blessed to have had your guidance.
How many Dominican bodybuilders are there in the Open, Mr. Olympia?
None, just me. Yeah, there's only one. And then there's a guy in Classic Physique. Not sure of his name. It's Fabi Bear. He's got a pretty large following. So he's doing the Classic Physique division. I'm really proud of him and hoping he does well. But yeah, thank you for having me on. It's always an honor to be here with you and hanging out. Matt, you're my boy. Thank you for getting me on here. Thank you to my family, my friends who supported me, Fitness System Sawgrass, Yamamoto Nutrition, TLF Apparel, my beautiful wife, Taylor, who's been more than a trooper this entire year, helped me prep. And
what if people want to come train at your gym down there? You have day passes, or
we have day passes. Come down to 12200 Sawgrass Boulevard in Plantation, Florida. Again, it's Fitness System Sawgrass. We'd love to have you guys over and have a great workout. We have some of the best equipment that we have the gyms have to offer. So come down, check us out, and thank you guys.
Awesome. We're gonna follow up. You need to make sure to take this. I'm gonna convince her to make you take her somewhere really expensive.
Oh, don't do that.
You just got to piggyback one of these trips for Yamamoto, or
that's what I
can't tell you how many times I never, people say, you taking a vacation? I said, no, it's always work, but we'll migrate for 3 days after. I don't know how long you like taking real vacations. For me, I mean, Matt's doing a whole month tour the end of the year, but
that's a long time. I would like to, I mean, we have, like you have dogs at home, and
yeah.
So I would like to go out for a week after maybe the Yamamoto trip. We've been talking about doing something. This is our shout out to Jay's Pet Butter, who my dog actually loves this thing.
You've just been sponsored a jar.
Oh, nice. Thank you, Jake. Jay's like, you fucking bastard.
Giving away my No, because I know you'll actually put it to
Yeah. This stuff is great, yeah.
You might need it for your little carb up, man. You
serious? I can eat this stuff?
Of course, yeah.
All right. Well, good.
No sugars and no salt.
Perfect.
It's probably better than what you're probably
It's better here at Whole Foods.
Sure, yeah.
What are you buying, almond butter or are you using almond butter?
Yeah.
I used to use almond butter.
Yeah.
Avocados, almond.
Yeah.
You'll get it soon.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Are we doing
Monday?
stacks and yolks Sunday?
Sunday and Monday, we'll figure out where we're going to eat.
Okay.
I told them, you're not leaving Vegas on Sunday, so we've already changed. They're staying a couple extra days.
Yeah. Stacks and yolks. We got to do that.
Whatever makes you happy.
What are you looking forward to for the meal after?
There's a. I'm not a
cheat meals all year.
I'm not a foodie though.
I know, but you got to have a conversation with your beautiful wife and say,
yeah,
honey, I would really like this after.
Yeah. So we have, and she thinks I'm the most boring person in the world.
Don't tell me it's rice cakes and shit. You know.
No, it's so there's a restaurant. We came here for when she competed. Last time we saw you, Jay, she did the USA's, and we went to a restaurant called Strip House in Planet Hollywood.
Yes, of course. I know it.
With you guys.
Yes. Dude, I've been dreaming about that steak ever since then. It was
pretty good. Remember, we went into like some private room.
Yeah.
And it was like dark and
yeah.
I felt like I was
Robert Earl used to take me there all the time.
Family.
Because we used to have our party at the there.
So yeah, Tay got some lobster mac and cheese and I got like this, it was like $120 steak, dude. It was the best steak, man. That's what I'm looking for.
Nice steak.
Potato.
We'll have to get you guys to come to South Africa and then you get some steak.
Yeah, probably
get the steak that's this big. That's like $6.
It's crazy how much they charge for food here, man. and it's mostly shit too.
Well, keep crushing, man. We look forward to seeing you up there, man. And I'm gonna push for your call out, man.
Thanks.
We need to see you against the boys.
That'd be cool. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Back double, man. You know,
just go up there, just hit the rear double. Don't do anything else.
Compare with those guys.
Yeah. So just listen. When they have a call out, if it's just those two, just walk out. Just walk. Yeah. Just get in the middle of them. I'm here too.
I wonder what would happen if it. I know.
Listen, if you were never competing again, I would say do it.
Yeah.
But if you're not, don't do that.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate the time.
We'll do it again.
Yes, sir.
We're out.